This could be the tipping point we've all been waiting for. U.S. senators, Republicans, Democrats, and independents just made a bold move that could send shockwaves through global politics. But here's the kicker. They're uniting against Donald Trump. And it's not just about politics. It's bigger. This isn't a typical political standoff. It's a direct challenge to the very future of NATO, international alliances, and even the Arctic. You need to pay attention to this because what comes next will change everything. Stay with me and I'll show you why this matters to you. This isn't just a protest, it's a full-blown international showdown. Senators from across the political spectrum flew to Greenland with a clear mission to send a message to Donald Trump, Denmark, and the world. They weren't just talking, they were making a stand. This wasn't about supporting a single party or person, it was about something much bigger. This delegation was meant to show solidarity with Greenland, to protect its sovereignty, and to defend NATO from the potential chaos Trump's threats could create. But what's at stake isn't just Greenland, it's the entire foundation of global stability. Why does this matter to you? Because what happens here could ripple across the globe and force us all to reconsider everything we thought we knew about international relations. Here's where it gets really interesting. Senators didn't just show up in Greenland for a photo op. They made a massive claim. If Trump moves against Greenland or NATO, they'll take drastic action. Think impeachment, think conviction. They're ready to use every tool at their disposal to stop him. But notice what's missing here. No one's talking about the bigger consequences of what might come next. If this escalating tension pushes the U.S. and its allies to the brink, it won't just affect politicians. This could change the lives of everyday people across the world. And the senators know it. That's why they're putting everything on the line, not just for Greenland, but for the very stability of international relations. Now let's take a closer look at the speech that kicked this all off. As soon as those senators landed in Greenland, the stakes shot up. This wasn't just diplomacy, it was a statement. And it didn't take long for tensions to escalate. What started as a show of solidarity quickly turned into something much more dangerous. You see, this isn't the first time the world has faced a power struggle over Greenland. The Arctic has long been a chessboard for global influence. But now, things are heating up faster than anyone expected. Remember the Cold War? That's the kind of pressure we're talking about. Countries positioning themselves for control, leveraging resources, and destabilizing alliances. If the U.S. moves on Greenland, it could fracture NATO beyond repair. And make no mistake, this isn't just about geopolitics. This is about our security, about your security. Because when big players like the U.S., Russia, and China start playing these dangerous games, we all feel the consequences. But the plot thickens. The senators didn't stop at just words. They backed it up with hard evidence. One powerful piece of testimony came from Senator Shaheen, who warned that even suggesting military force in Greenland could fracture NATO. And that's not just talk. When you threaten an ally's sovereignty, you don't just damage relationships, you invite chaos. And guess what? That chaos is exactly what Russia and China want. By playing into these tensions, Trump's rhetoric is handing Vladimir Putin the perfect opportunity to weaken NATO, divert resources, and shift focus from Ukraine. And let's not forget, these are the same adversaries who are just waiting for any weakness in the West. So when you look at what's happening, it's clear. The rhetoric surrounding Greenland is doing far more harm than good. But here's the twist. It's not just about NATO. It's about global influence. And Greenland could be the tipping point. Now things are escalating even faster. Just yesterday, the situation took another turn. Multiple nations, including European powers, are now deploying special forces to Greenland to protect it from a potential U.S. invasion. This is no longer just about Trump's controversial statements, it's about real-world actions. In the meantime, the pressure is mounting. The world's most powerful nations are positioning themselves, and they're not just standing by. The U.S. may be pushing for more control in the Arctic, but Greenland's leaders aren't backing down. They've been clear. They want to partner, not be threatened. And yet, here we are. Tensions are rising, resources are at stake, and the future of global security is hanging in the balance. You know, what happens if this continues? It's hard to say, but one thing's for sure. The world is watching, and the next move could tip the scale. Let's take a moment and think about how this all affects you, the everyday person. Because this isn't just about governments and political chess moves. It's about real people. People in Greenland, people in NATO countries, and yes, people in the United States. When you see these geopolitical tensions rise, it's not just politicians who are feeling the heat. In Greenland, families are worried, really worried, that their home could become a battleground. Children are lying awake at night wondering if the U.S. might invade. Can you imagine the anxiety, the fear? And that's not just happening in Greenland. If this escalates, we could all be facing a future where international alliances are weakened, security is compromised, and trust is shattered. If this feels familiar, say so in the comments, because this isn't just a headline, it's a reality that could change everything we thought we knew about safety and sovereignty. But here's the thing, this isn't just a matter of national security or political power struggles. There's a deeper, more unsettling mechanism at play here. It's about how power, fear, and leverage shape our world. The system is designed to work this way. Threats are used to manipulate outcomes, leverage is applied to bend the rules, and fear is weaponized to create division. And in the middle of all of this, everyday people are caught in the crossfire. This isn't just about Greenland. It's about how these geopolitical games are played and who ultimately benefits from them. The deeper you dig, the clearer it becomes. There are those who stand to profit from these conflicts, and they're not the ones who will face the consequences. The next time you hear a leader talk about military force, think about what's really being said and who it's really for, because the real game here is much bigger than just one piece of land. So where does this all lead? The world is standing at a crossroads and two paths are opening up. First, we could see a resolution, a calm negotiated agreement where tensions ease and Greenland's sovereignty is respected. NATO stays intact and global stability is restored. But there's a darker possibility looming too. If these threats continue and the political chaos spreads, we could witness the unraveling of alliances that have held strong for decades. NATO could fracture, countries could turn inward, and the world could enter a new era of global tension with major players like Russia and China ready to capitalize on the fallout. The key question now is, which path will we take? And more importantly, how quickly will this momentum push us toward one of these outcomes? The clock is ticking, and the next move is already taking shape. And here's the unsettling truth. No matter which path we take, this situation will redefine everything. Whether it leads to a new era of cooperation or an era of deep division, we'll look back at this moment as the turning point. The story of Greenland isn't just about a piece of land or even international politics. It's about how fragile the world's balance really is. And when that balance is pushed too far, the consequences are felt by us all. So as the situation develops, the question remains, will sanity prevail, or will the world's powers drive us to the brink of disaster? This is just the beginning, and the next chapter is already unfolding. Don't miss what happens next. For more deep dives into global issues and what they mean for your future, make sure to subscribe and stay plugged in.